it's not.
Okay. Well, that answered the
Okay,
question.
well-
No, that answered a question I had a year ago when we talked about this. Was I was afraid by buying this property we can combine them. I was afraid we'd incur more cost because we couldn't get them done in time for the election. That was my concern. But it sounds like the only cost we're not going to incur too much cost. It sounds like.
I think the infrastructure is already in place in each building. It just
Right.
needs some minor enhancements to be able to do more for them. But we return right back to the same situation. Quite frankly, because of the uncertainty of the scope of this work and given the diverse opinions with respect to what we're doing, we haven't really fast-tracked this program, this project. And I will definitely, surely get that stuff to the board for next week. But you have a lot of decisions to make here, and we can't move forward without those decisions being made. And I think we all realize that there's going to be pluses and minuses on both sides.
Well, let me ask you this, because you were confused earlier. Would it be better if you put together some bullet points that you think decisions have to be by
Absolutely
this board?
not.
Oh, I tried.
I like that. You said
I
he was
tried.
confused. I didn't notice he was confused. Why did you think he was confused?
I'm not confused at all.
He has that look, that's all.
I just don't want to confuse the Board of Elections because you're talking about a presidential election in between moving in a new location and new equipment and then training the poll workers. That's all very important. And I mean, some major issues here.
Certainly, but the last time the Board of Elections appeared before us, and they appeared as a complete board,
That's right, I forgot about that.
right, there was a lot of discussion that was contrary to the direction I thought this board was taking. And then over the last several months, I've heard varying degrees of support and non-support for this issue, and I think that we're basically still all over the place with what a consolidated position is going to be. Are there going to be two board of elections? Is it going to be one with a satellite office? Are they going to want a new building, or are they going to be work with us on a renovated building? Is that building suitable? Is it not suitable? At varying times, I've heard different answers to these questions, and it makes it very difficult to let anybody know what the scope of the project is going to be so that we can move forward.
Didn't we talk about sending them a letter? Either you make a decision or we make it?
We've communicated on several occasions with them with respect to this issue, yes.
That's why I thought we were already in the position of we're making it.
We're making what?
The decision on the
Decision
move
on the
and...
move. Because they're paying a little bit too much in rent, and we own a building, and I thought that's why we were buying the building. So to consolidate, save $8,500 a month in rent. We're on a month-to-month with the Board of Elections, and
We have cleaned the building out as much as we could with, we need to do an abatement on the asbestos, so we couldn't go too much further. We've dropped mosses, we've backfilled the area there. The billboard's off. Mayor Grace will be happy to learn that the billboard's gone on the side of the building now, so.
that's because he had his ad on there.
Well, it's one less billboard in the city of Lorain. He doesn't like those. So that's gone to never return. So, I mean, some progress has been made. I don't want to give the impression that we haven't been working. It's been an ongoing project. But we also, what we do with this building is going to have a direct impact on the building next door to it. And also what we do with some of the tenants that are in that building, because some of the indication from various members at the Board of Election have been that if you consolidate, they're going to need a little bit more room into that other building. If you don't, they may not. Do we capture that other building, and do we basically encapsulate both buildings and make them into a larger building? It doesn't make a lot of sense to renovate the one building without some look at the building next to it that we own, and that building requires a roof. Clerk of Courts has some issues in the back of that building he's been discussing with me. So before we can go any further with those discussions, we need to conclude and make a definitive decision with respect to what we're going to do or recommend to the Board of Elections they do, so that we know where we're going with
Well,
this
Jim,
project.
maybe it would help if you were to outline all these issues. And then we could better review it. I mean,
See,
You're
that's
talking.
what I tried to say, but
you're talking,
You
but...
said he was confused.
And you're bringing all this
Don't
into
say
one
that.
thing, and
I don't think so. Not at all.
There's really three questions, and I can write all three questions down on a piece of paper.
Okay, say them right now. What's the three questions?
Are we going to have two Board of Elections or one? If we have two Board of Elections, Are we going to renovate this building, and then what are we going to do with the building in Lorain? And if we're going to consolidate the Board of Elections, is this building big enough, or are we going to build them a new building?
And then we're going to allow a satellite office if we combine them.
Correct. I mean, there's some minor tertiary branches, but those are the crux. of
Okay,
it.
even if we were to allow a satellite office, what kind of cabling and
No, the
equipment do we need there too?
No, you wouldn't need anything there. That would be only used for like sign-ups and everything else for the
Is
people.
this our
in Lorain.
decision or the
It's-
Board of
it's-
Elections
I
decision?
think it's our decision because the Board of Elections is, I think this issue was around when I was talking to Bob Russo. He got beat up by the Chronicle in 1992 for having to. That's now been 11 years ago.
Oh, he isn't the only
I know,
one that
I'm
was
just saying.
criticized.
No,
Come
I know. I
on.
think so. This has been criticized since at least that I know of 1992. I just think we need to combine them. It's the only county in the whole state that has 2 Board of Elections. In order to not to allow people in Lorain to still come in and register to vote, I don't see why we don't have a satellite office in Lorain. But in the meantime, we can't fix what the founder of Elyria did way back when.
Nor should we.
I know, we can't fix that. So the fact is, Elyria is the county seat. I think we need to combine them. I think it's a lot more efficient, and it'll save some money.
I just think it's, when you talk to people, you get different opinions, and I wanted to throw this out just for a little laugh for the day. Someone else said to me, well, why do we bother at all? Everybody should receive a ballot in the mail and return it, and we wouldn't have to go through this whole process. And I thought that was the best suggestion of the week. But apparently
And
that's
then
not one
somebody
that's going
has
to
to
be
stand
considered.
there and
I got
count
some-
them.
I got all sorts of ideas on that.
Okay.
Well, so what do we need to tell Jim to do so that we can move this subject along a little?
I will bring you back the recommendation for next board meeting, but clearly, some decisions need to be made. And I'm being very candid when I tell you that we've been really slow tracking this process because we just don't want to duke it out over some of these issues. We have a lot of other projects that we have ongoing, and with a little bit of purposeful intent, we've been slow tracking this one. We'll move it to the front burner. We're ready to go, but it's going to cause a real poop storm here with controversy.
You're not supposed to start that. Clerks aren't allowed to giggle.
Thank you for the levity,
Yeah.
Teresa.
Yeah, I'll make sure I bring my waiters from the
Well,
store.
we're going to have to do it because, I mean, I don't want to see a presidential election go down the tubes because we screw up.
Oh,
Oh,
I'm
that's
not gonna
putting
touch
it
that
kinda-
one. I'm not touching that one.
Well, again, let me make it.
I'm closing my mouth.
No, you got
Let me
it.
make it pretty clear that we're not going to be in a different facility by the.
No, that's fine. But the issue is
Regardless of what we do.
we can fix the issue at hand, which is rental money for $8,500, probably more now because we're on a 30-day, month-to-month
We're on a
lease
month-to-month.
now.
And our costs have gone up under the month
Yeah,
because
so-
there was some acceleration.
Exactly. So
issues
if you
in
don't mind getting those numbers for us for next week too, and why don't we just put this on old business for next week?
How long will it take to renovate that building if we decide to go in there?
there. Well, you could probably make it by the presidential election, but it's doubtful you'll make it by an early primary next year. It'll take 6 to 8 months to do a really good plan and come up with a real.
But that's okay. We're moving forward.
Yes,
That's
yes.
all I would like to do.
But I was
You
just
know,
trying to answer Commissioner
Yeah.
Vacy's.
Could we do
Thank you.
this again? Let the Board of Elections know that we're going to discuss this next week and
Give them the opportunity to
What's
come
in-
in?
Next week is at New Russia Township at
Oh,
night.
that'd be
that's
even
good.
better yet. That'd be
We
fine.
do have a 7:30 appointment though that night.
That's fine. Why
Why
don't
do
we
we have-
invite the board?
7:30
Because we didn't really, we
yeah.
invited this board and a lot of them showed up.
It's an evening meeting.
And
Do we-
at 7:30 I do have a scheduled
Okay.
presentation.
Do we
You do?
want to ask, in 2 weeks from today, continue this? Oh, maybe I won't be here.
Why don't we
What's
do
the
it?
date?
I don't mind a night meeting to discuss this. I mean, that wouldn't bother me.
I don't care whether
Oh.
it's discussed in the morning or
Oh.
the
The
evening.
12th?
I won't be here. I'm on vacation that week. I was thinking of the availability of other people to come in. That was my,
It's after hours, they'll work. I'll give her time to switch the tape.
Thank you.
What's the pleasure of the board?
We could set up a special meeting, administrative meeting. We were
Let's
planning to
it.
do that on Tuesdays.
Yeah, but let's do it under old business at our regular meeting, please.
Yeah.
Whenever we do it, let's do it like we did it today. I think that was good.
I say we invite them, have an 8 o'clock discussion next Thursday, because it's like, we're putting this right back in the slow track. We won't be discussing this till July now.
Doesn't
so.
matter where we're at, they're gonna have to travel to where we are, so whether it's in Rush Township or here.
Fine
Invite
with
them
me.
next week.
I'd like to get it back on track, so,
Do you want me to do 7:45?
yeah.
Okay? We're
Thank
done
you.
with that?
I don't know where we're at, but we're.
Are you going
Are you going
Correspondence.
to make the invites, or do you want me to do that? How does the board want that handled?
I'm sure they'll read it in the paper.
Oh, but I think a personal invitation is much more appropriate.
Okay.
Whoever extends it, I don't care, but a personal invitation.
I'll send a letter to the four members of the Board of Elections and the Executive Director indicating that the issue is going to be, at the very minimum, discussed at the next meeting, and they're requesting that they attend the meeting.
Okay.
Thank you.
Any
Yeah.
further old business?
I've done.
I have none.
Okay, now we're back to Commissioners' report.
That's all I had.
Okay.
More?
Commissioner Blair?
That was
Oh, me?
enough to stun you for a while.
It doesn't matter.
Okay. All I want to say is happy birthday to Bob Hope, who turned 100. Thanks for the memories. A friend of mine also had a birthday. He was my mentor when I was 18 years old. He turned 80. World War II, Purple Heart winner. Just wanted to say happy birthday. Although he lives in New Orleans, I don't think he'll be seeing this on TV. But he was a very close friend of mine. So, no, I'm not going to do that. I won't put anybody through that. Jim, last week we talked about the issue with the a memo that was typed for solid waste. I don't know what happened. You said you were going to investigate the rims on tires. Do you remember what happened?
Yes, the recall of the board was accurate with respect to us not taking wheels and rims on tires.
And my understanding that there was a memo typed up from solid waste countering that.
Yes, and solid waste has since corrected the matter.
That's too late. I just want to make sure that it's knowledgeable that we had given him instruction here while he was in this board and he decided not to follow those instructions. Is that a proper
Well-
statement or no?
Well, I think it's a little strong. I'm not sure.
Oh, I'm sorry. Should I
There
get
was-
flowers?
Silk flowers, so they
Yeah.
last longer.
Yeah, we got recycled stuff.
Now, we had all this love going on now,
No.
okay? You know, the...
Well, Bob Hope to this, whatever.
Okay.
You know?
Thanks
Thanks for the memories. I'm just trying to get my memory straight. I thought we had instructions, and if he didn't follow them, that's fine. I mean, if you corrected the situation, you'll
Right,
follow it
I
again.
can't tell you definitively whether Mr. Billman purposely did not follow those directions. He has since indicated that he was in error and he misunderstood, and we have given him a copy of the resolution and
Okay,
corrected
well,
his
that's fine.
knowledge of the issue.
Okay, then it won't happen again. Just for the township people that called me regarding that issue, that's fine. It was dealt with, right?
Yes, sir.
That's all I need to
I
say.
do have a question, though, and I'm
Okay.
sorry to, but you brought the subject up, so I'll say what I said last week.
Okay.
I personally had a tire on a rim, and I do not have the ability to remove that tire from the rim. So what was I, as a taxpayer, supposed to do with that tire? Just leave it in my backyard?
All right, go to the gas station, pay $1, and they'll take it off for you. I mean, that's what they do. That's what I had to do.
Oh.
And then you go down to
Okay.
the BFI, and they'll pay you per pound on the rim.
Right on, yeah. All right.
Okay.
I
that was-
just think that,
Well, no, if we want to do that, then we can, I just thought we had instructions. My issue was the fact that I had people called me up and said, I thought we weren't supposed to do this, and there's a memo here, and it sounds like you corrected the situation.
well, I
Yes,
appreciate
we
that.
don't
but
take-
we're
That's
going-
all it was.
We
That's
don't
all it
And I
was.
appreciate that, but I also wanted to bring, excuse me, Jim,
Right,
to
right.
bring the thought back to why we did it in the first place. Is that is still a valid
Well,
issue?
we don't take wheels and we don't take tractor tires.
We don't take wheels. What are you talking about?
Rims.
Rims.
Wheels, the rims are wheels.
Sorry.
Okay, and that's another issue, we have, with tractor tires, we don't take tractor tires either.
Make good sandboxes.
My only reason for bringing this forward again is we'll probably go through this next procedure
next
again
year.
next year, and I appreciate the fact that you brought it forward for
Right.
clarification. but I think it's an issue too.
Well, does the board want to explore a limited program to take tires with wheels, or is that a issue that's...
Why don't we just wait till next year? I just want to make sure that the communication issue that existed was...
If we had the
corrected.
recycle center going, we can have a section there that would take those rims off, then junk the rims and make some money on them. And we wouldn't have to be paying the double weight that we're paying to the company that's now taking those rims and then letting them make money on top of that. Because they're taking those rims off and bringing them to the junkyard and making money on them.
That's a
And
lot.
right now, I think it's like 80 cents a pound or something. So that's quite a bit.
Yeah. That's right. I'm on the roller coaster of feeling good and not feeling good.
Okay,
I was really-
anyway.
Now, are you up or down?
Where we at?
I'm up. I was really
Still
excited
with
this
him.
morning. No, I'm still on my part, okay?
Have
Go,
I
go.
resolved the issue for you with
Yeah.
respect to this?
Yeah, but I read the Chronicle and I was really excited because they had a nice
Oh, you
article.
saw your name in the headline, then you found out it wasn't
Yeah,
you.
more is
More
better.
is better. I read
I
that.
thought,
Well,
hey.
as soon as I found out
Oh,
it wasn't you, I
well,
didn't
that's
bother
okay.
to read
I wanted to
it.
congratulate Kelly Moore of Bay, who is going to state finals, even though I thought it was all about me. And
Go more, go more. Okay.
There, now we're back down to the roller coaster down again. Here we go. Okay.
There's more.
Always more with Dave Moore. Here we
Oh
go.
my gosh.
Okay. Is Craig. Oh man. Mark was here and Craig was here and it was all about them.
Well, it's only 5 to 12.
Well, I'll be done in about an hour. Okay, what we got next? I'm just
Okay,
kidding.
I want,
What I
I
want.
asked for a meeting for all these guys,
Who?
with all them. Where's the list?
Well, what I want to do is, I got a memo here from our IT director on May 19th, and it says we have to make a decision by May 31st. And I was a little upset that we were being forced to make a decision by May 31st.
Okay, I called the guy from Oracle, asked him to extend that deadline because we wanted a meeting with people from Oracle, auditor's office, and a lot of other people. And he agreed to come, and he's going to see if he can extend the deadline on that.
Okay.
Got it?
No, well, what's the result? What are you looking to do?
He's got to call back. Well, have
Oracle?
a meeting and let's discuss this Oracle deal.
Well, who's having the meeting? You're having the meeting with all the elected officials, or what?
Hopefully with the board and our purchasing department, Mark Stewart and people from his department, people from Oracle, and there's another company involved, Narcissus.
And NARS? Well, NARS, what happened was I think it happened 6 months ago. We had a bill that they wanted to spend to update Oracle, and we said, no, we want, because I don't think we were happy at that time. And in a sense, we spent $15,000 on a analysis from NARS, and the analysis came back with a lot of issues, and I think coincidentally, with 3 days ago, Oracle cut us off. on
What do you
any-
mean cut us off?
On servicing our, well, I don't even want to say our. All I'm saying is that we have the Oracle system's no longer being managed, or, Ernie, you know this computer stuff more.
The support,
Okay, yeah, the support from,
Oracle support for problems that they encounter.
all right. So basically, that support is no longer there, and my concern was this, and I don't know when the meeting is, but is there a way that we can get something from the auditor's office to say that we're okay, that we're not gonna have a shutdown on the computer system because we don't have any more support? You know what I mean? Or no, do we need to get something, I got something, let me see what I wrote, my notes all over the place here.
It's
Can we
current,
continue? Can Oracle continue? And at what cost without the support that we lost this week?
if they stick to their guns with turning off the support, there is a potential of Oracle grinding to a halt.
But I need, yeah, but.
And by
I like-
support, we mean if there's a problem, they'll come in and fix it.
Is that what that
I
is?
mean-
Tele-
Maintenance, well, I'm
telephone,
asking.
I don't know.
telephone support to Oracle.
Well, what does that mean, Ernie?
They encountered an error with a report a couple of days ago, and when they phoned for support, it was at that time determined that we were in arrears with our support payments, and they denied support.
Yeah, that's something I talked with them about
Did you
too.
talk to them? What'd they say?
Yeah. I said, you're saying that we're in arrears, but yet what we've been invoiced for, we have been paying. And now you're trying to invoice us on additional money that we weren't invoiced on previously. That you understand what?
No, what's
It's
the- what-
it's Oracle's position that we owe $225,000 in back support.
But for
But
3 years
Pam-
worth of support, right?
Right,
But we're
But the
saying we
county-
don't know if we've already paid it or not, right?
correct.
They've never invoiced us.
See,
Right,
they've
right,
never
they never
invoiced
invoiced
us.
us, but what I find, I don't want to say amusing, But with Oracle, we should be able to pull up on the system if we paid or not. And the fact is, we have to go back 3-4 years now through the Record Center to find out if we actually did pay. But you're saying they've never billed us in 3 years?
Right, we've paid what we've been invoiced.
Right, but
Yeah.
but the issue now is they're saying that it's our fault that we didn't invoice you, but you still owe us money. But if you make a decision before the 31st, we'll knock off 80,000. I'm like, I don't like that type of negotiation.
Right.
My position is going to be, well, I don't think we owe you anything. But that's just me, and I think that's something we have to talk about another day. But my concern is that it sounds like you're going to have a meeting with everybody then, or
Oracle, Narcissus, the auditor.
Do you have a date established?
Sandy was going to set it up. Sandy or
well, my
Teresa.
concern though is that if we don't have any support and things shuts down, it's I know what's going to happen. We find out about it now. Guess what? It's all going to be it's going to be the three of us's issue, which it shouldn't have been. But we're going to have to deal with it, right? Or
Well, isn't that how most things happen?
well, not when we don't know about it.
Oh, there's lots of things we don't know about it, and then we find out about
we
it.
weren't- well, okay, then who's the project manager of this project? Who's in charge of Oracle?
We don't have anyone.
Yeah, we do.
Well, yeah, we do. There's 3 employees downstairs employed through the auditor's office that
Well,
are
there's
tasked
two
with the
full-
Oracle.
Now they're saying there's not a point person.
No, there's 2 full-time people that are involved with Oracle, I found out. But they have a supervisor, that's their IT person.
Okay.
Which he spends about 50% of his time on Oracle.
Okay, so that's 2.5 people.
I know.
Yeah,
Well, that's how
but
many
when I
people in the
talked to
world.
the guy from Oracle yesterday, he said they don't have a point person. He didn't know who to contact.
My understanding of the Oracle issue is that there was some proposals brought forth to the board a few months ago. The board had some questions. We authorized a study to take a look at the Oracle issues to bring the board up to speed on some of the problems and potential situations facing the county. I did not know that we assumed authority, control, or responsibility for that platform by doing
Well, they
that
said
study.
they were talking with Ernie. And then, now they don't know who to talk with because,
Who,
for
Oracle?
whatever reason.
You were working
Or-
on this.
Oracle
I was
or
working with-
Narcissus?
I was working with Oracle and Naris on the analysis
Narcissus.
of
The
the
analysis here.
current status of the system.
'Cause my understanding from talking to John Rokasi was that in 1998 is when this went online. They spent up to $2 million so far on the system, and we still can't get what I've been asking for. And if you remember, John said he could do it, and we still haven't gotten it, which is a quarterly, I just want quarterly financials on this county. And we can't even do what Oracle is like the Cadillac of all financial data gathering, okay? But we're not using it. I mean, what we're supposed to be doing is using Oracle to pay our bills and to do basically do all the financial aspects of it. The fact is, the treasurer's using basic Peachtree accounting. The auditor's office is still using Microsoft products, and then they're combining that stuff, and someone else is trying to download that information into Oracle. It's just right now that hasn't been a benefit. And according to this memo, we're gonna have to dump another $750,000 into it, and I'm looking at $1 million, saying I think a decision's gonna have to be made soon. Do we scrap Oracle and look at another shop? But you're telling me, because I spoke to Ernie yesterday when I finally got into this, that you don't know where to go next. I mean, because it could take you a year to find another system, right?
To fully analyze the needs of the county would take some time.
But that shouldn't be your responsibility, or is it his? Is it our responsibility?
We
I
talked,
guess I'm trying to find out.
if
is it
you
ours
remember
or
a long
what?
time ago too, I don't know if it was last year, but we talked about Oracle, and this was a big issue in
Right.
regards to the requisitions.
Right.
And everybody entering everything into Oracle, then when they were supposed to have meetings. And then they went down, supposed to have gone down for training, and the auditor tells me his people went down, but our people didn't go down. So I don't know where we're at, but that's why I'm saying we need a meeting, and let's all get together and find out
Okay. Well,
who's doing what and who's not.
so where do you think we should go with this? I mean, so you're saying you talked to Oracle and they're not going to charge us, or they're going to extend
The
the
guy said that he would have to talk to somebody about him.
My concern was the fact that they were making us try to make a decision. And my main concern is I don't think our IT guy can make a educated decision or a recommendation, can you?
I don't have all the facts, enough facts to make a recommendation
Okay. Well-
at this point.
Well,
Okay, I just wanted to make sure that when I saw the May 31st deadline, I did not want to be accused of trying not to save 80,000 the way this was typed up, because I thought to myself that this is no way to do business. If they say we owe money, they never billed us in 3 years. And I think there's statute of limitation issues on that, you know? I don't know. I don't want to put Jerry on the spot, but he's grinning, so. I think there's more issues than just that, so. I don't know. So, you're gonna have meetings?
Yeah, we're going to have, Sandy's in the process of setting it up.
Sure.
Santa sent out the emails to coordinate schedules. Are the 3 commissioners attending the meeting?
I just want to see the results in this, and I want to see a way to fix this.
I'll be attending.
You can attend, you're the president. I don't issue.
Well, I think we all should, so that we all hear the same thing at the same time.
That sounds familiar.
Yeah, that's fine.
Thank you.
Well, why don't we just have it here like we did with the airport authority? It seems to be going so well.
Well, I thought earlier the auditor was here, and I thought perhaps that's why he came, even though it was not on the agenda, so.
Well, no, I was more worried about the date, the drop dead date.
I
so
agree with you.
that's
There
what
is
I
a
was
date
worried
that was
about.
given to us, and
Okay.
Mary Jo, do you know with whom you had conversation?
Yes, I have their names, but I just don't have them handy.
Well, and I wonder if that's a binding conversation. I mean,
I met with the regional manager for Oracle last week. He came into town to specifically discuss this with us. And May 31st is their end of year, and the pricing that they were offering us was told to me at that time was only valid through midnight, May 31st.
Yeah, he did mention that was their
As in
fiscal year.
Commissioner Vacy asked me to look into that too, and that's the same information that I received was that May 31st. They're just trying to end their fiscal year.
So they just probably, obviously, like any other company's trying to make a few bucks so they can put on their financials. So
Sure. And
that's
they
all.
also see a strategic, they also see a good strategic move in pressuring us quickly.
Well, yeah, because then we're locked in. But you know what? If we're going to be locked in and have to come with another $750, that's plus another $225. You're talking $1 million. Well, I think we could probably, and people aren't even using it now. We've already spent $2 million. I don't want to be stuck with a $3 million system that we can use as a doorstep. That's all.
Well, you know, this is similar to the issue with the building over there. It's hard for our people to function when they don't know what their
No,
function
no,
is.
no, no, no. There's a difference here. We have control of that building. I don't think we've ever had control of Oracle.
Well, do we want to hold off? When do you want this meeting? Because
well,
I mean,
it's new now. We have a
Oh.
couple executive session items to meet for. The auditor's in the building. I don't know what your schedule is, but I'm available after.
I'm not available.
when were you scheduling the meeting for?
No one asked for their availability as soon as possible. I just spoke with Craig Snodgrass today, he said they would be available whenever you want.
Okay. Well, then maybe we have to we could probably talk.
We can't,
Why?
because these people, Oracle and the other guy, where are they coming from?
I'm not talking about Oracle. I'm
What are you talking about?
He's just talking about meeting with some of the stakeholders here.
Yeah, well, didn't we form a committee to have a review? Is that what this report is all about, from those committee meetings you guys formed?
The analysis evolved from that committee, yes.
Okay.
It's an ongoing thing, but during the analysis, the alleged unpaid support surfaced, which prompted me to write the letter to make sure the board was aware that issue was out there.
And that may be, were you done, Ernie? I didn't mean to interrupt you. Were you done
Yes.
speaking? That issue may be a legal issue.
Yeah.
Isn't there some, that was one, wasn't? I recall a memo a couple weeks ago on licensing that has been paid also?
Yes, there's also allegedly that servers are not properly licensed.
We have a lot of alleged things
100
going on, don't we?
Well, there's a lot of things.
Again,
that-
we're pulling historical records from boxes at the record center.
So these two issues in itself could add up to $400,000 or $500,000.
What Oracle put on the table was special pricing, because they do see that it's potentially their problem as well as ours, and they did put a genuine offer on the table if we wanted to keep Oracle. And the pricing that they gave us was good pricing, but it had to be accepted to get the full benefit before May 31st.
Well, if they hear that we might even cut them off, maybe they might give us a better offer. That's what I'm thinking.
There's much discussion to be had, because to upgrade Oracle would involve a whole business change for the way the board sees what they see every week.
So are we too early discussing this then, or no? Or do you think it was appropriate to discuss it today, or?
The only decision that I feel could be made today is if there was a good feeling about Oracle and you were already in favor of keeping Oracle and going with the full upgrade. But beyond that, then
Which is what, the 225?
it's $750,000 in
Oh.
the first year and $65,000 a year after that for support. My estimate is 1.2 to 1.5 million over the next 4 years to keep Oracle and use it the way everyone wants to.
Now, does that include the training it's going to take? 'Cause
That's training and implementation.
that's everything? Okay.
Hardware, additional,
So, yes.
it's an all-in.
Well, no, you said you still got to check out, what, 10 other counties? And other counties have like 30
We're still
people,
gathering
or
data
what?
from what 10 other counties are doing.
What did you find out? Because you told me a few things that I found interesting. That, how many employees it takes to manage Oracle?
There's 2 counties, Lucas County and Butler County. They have 30-some staff.
Just managing this. I mean, I'm like, how much is it? I mean, 50 years ago they didn't have computers. I mean, I'm wondering.
It's a very large
Of course we do.
system. It's a very complex system. And there's much discussion to be had on how the board would wish to change the way they do business and whether or not it's worth it.
Okay, so what do you think we need to do? We want to wait till we have a meeting then and do
I think we should.
Okay. Could you, my concern is what happens if there's a system shutdown and we don't have support? Are we, I gotta watch this, are we out of luck?
No payroll.
No.
What I was
Oracle
told,
doesn't do
what I was
payroll.
told 3 days ago, I received an email from Kay Corbin in the auditor's office, and she told me that they encountered an error, and at that time were told that support was turned off. If that is in fact true and that cannot be remedied, there is a potential for Oracle grinding to a halt.
But that, we don't know though, I'm just wondering what
No.
the,
It could roll along fine for weeks or months, but I've heard nothing but Oracle's servers are ready to crash. The database is decertified. I've heard nothing positive about it since I've been here. So, and I've been told by the auditor's people that it's imminent that something's going to happen to it. And right now, as far as I'm aware, the support's been turned off.
okay, that's all, that's the only concern I have, is what happens. if
There is the
there's-
option of bringing in consultants in a worst-case scenario, but
Wow.
they come in at $150 an hour, and how much they could help us without Oracle's support behind them is something I can't
This is
answer
one of
right
those
now.
things- Yeah, those are one of those things that could just domino into more issues and more issues. I don't want to, my main concern is I don't want to be accountable or held accountable for a shutdown that we have no control over.
I think we really need to hear from the auditor.
Why don't we do our exec and see if they're available to do it?
Or maybe you can just find out from the auditor what would happen,
Yeah, that's all I'm
what's
looking for
happening
is-
right now. I mean,
That's all we need to know is what
Yeah.
happens if there's a shutdown. What do you need from the commissioners if it does happen? And let them just answer in a letter or something. Just say, hey, or you can tell you or tell us.
Well,
Because you're going to have a discussion later. I just want to make sure. The only question I need answered is what happens if you don't have support today. That's it.
The discussions are ongoing with the Oracle committee as a group,
Right.
but this licensing and support issue popped up during the analysis. I mean, the questions being answered for what it's going to take to upgrade licensing, the costs involved. And during these discussions, it was discovered that, oh, wait a minute, Lorain County's more than 1,000 days overdue in support payments.
but we're concerned about the shutdown, and you're saying something about them shutting us down already.
There is the potential, because the servers are not licensed. The regional manager assures me that they don't normally do business like that, but the potential is there to come in and shut us down because we're not properly licensed on the servers.
I don't think Oracle would do that. Then they're the ones that would have to shut us down.
The regional manager says
Oh, they won't do that. Then. I was
It's
thinking
not a-
something else. I thought maybe they'd crash and we'd be, shut down. You're saying that they could actually come in and shut them down. They probably won't.
well, there's the support is one thing, and then the licensing is another.
Okay, but since we're just made aware of it, we have time then to correct the situation now.
He wanted to work with us.
Okay, I
Mr.
was
Dean-
thinking of something else. I was thinking that once it shuts down, that we're out of business. But that's my concern is I don't want anything to slow down. That's all. So,
Okay.
thanks, Rainey.
Thank
That's
you.
all for my report.
So then we're going to discuss this later today, or we're going to wait for Teresa to schedule a meeting for everybody?
I think Teresa, because I think what we found out just now is that I don't think if Oracle's the one that controls it, then I don't think we're gonna have issues.
I've been in contact with Mr. Dean and Mr. Wallace, who are the Oracle representatives.
Okay.
Mr. Wallace is the Ohio rep, and Mr. Dean is the regional rep. I've been in contact with them, and I can get the latest information and pass it on to you with.
I want the auditor involved with it. Their IT staff should be the ones that should have the communication. Or at least have their input.
So
That's it.
we're waiting
Waiting for the
for a
scheduled meeting, I
meeting.
guess.
That's
all,
what I-
all parties meeting.
Okay.
And you
That-
have to set a board meeting, correct?
Yes,
Do it
I
on
think
the
so.
board meeting.
And I'm going to
Or-
be gone.
Or do you think we could have an emergency meeting on something like this next
That's
week?
what I would think. We can have
Or no, you leaving?
Well, when are you going to do it? We are going to commissioners, some of us are going to the commissioners conference Monday and
that's right.
Tuesday. We'll be back Wednesday, and Thursday's our regular board meeting.
Our night
And it's
meeting.
Thursday night at New Russia Township, and we have two scheduled things already.
Well, we could meet it at, what, on Thursday? Because usually our morning meetings, we could have a meeting just regarding this on Thursday morning.
Well,
I like
why
hanging out
don't
with you guys.
Sandy said she sent out a memo.
I'm not sure
Teresa, you weren't here. Teresa wasn't here yesterday, so I guess, Jim, you assigned it to Sandy?
Yeah, she sent out
And she
email.
sent an email out, so,
Let's find out what's good for everybody else.
for the time.
Okay.
We didn't have it as a board meeting, it was as a,
Informational.
Yeah.
So we may want to revise the email, let them know that the board will be assembled to conduct business if necessary.
Yeah, but we can't do everything. She's got other things scheduled at our board meetings too, so.
Well, we can meet all day as long as you
Yeah.
allow time for lunch.
Yeah. Which is about now.
Yeah.
Or do you
Sounds
want to
good
do
to
the
me.
Well,
administrative
normally you
meeting,
don't.
which is June 17th, which is the third Tuesday?
Yeah, we do that.
If
It's
that's
already
agreeable, I
scheduled.
mean, that's 2 weeks away, 3 weeks.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's have an administrative meeting. How's that? We're supposed to have them, they're on our schedule.
Set it up for an administrative meeting, but check the dates with everybody, because I don't have my calendar here. I don't know what I've got
That's
going on.
Tuesday, June 17th, approximate what time, 9:30 still?
We'll find out what's good for everybody. If it's after
Yeah.
lunch, maybe 1 o'clock, whatever. Just, that's your job now. That's for snorting at Josie.
Okay. Did we do correspondence, board
You have a little
correspondence?
candy to, excuse me, Commissioner Basie, do you have a little candy to give to him? He'll sweeten up a little bit.
God, we need no sugar.
Oh, gee.
I have a Hall's cough drop.
He doesn't deserve anything sweeter.
Correspondence?
Move to be waived.
Are we done with Commissioner's report?
No,
I
we
think
listened
Betty
to
wasn't.
Commissioner Basie, and we listened to Commissioner Moore, it's 12:15, but I just wanted to tell you what I did. I'm sure you really care. But on Friday, last Friday, oh, thank you. Commissioner Peter Lawson Jones, Cuyahoga County Commissioner, together with 4 of us other commissioners, had a Northeast meeting at Medina County Fairgrounds, and there were several state representatives there from the various districts, together with State Senator Ron Amstutz, and Larry Long was there from the County Commissioners Association, Howard Mayer from Nowaka, and they talked generally about, he doesn't get any, they talked generally, if you're not going to listen, you don't get any candy, about the state budget. You're kind of out of it now, huh?
3.
Oh, well, you probably need all of them. At any rate, it was an interesting meeting, and I can see that we don't want to hear any
I
more
do
about
wanna
it
hear
now.
about it.
Yeah, right. So
Wasn't
just read
me.
the paper to see
You
what
started
the...
it.
I'm not sure which of you is
Came right
worse.
down.
Hopefully, the Senate will keep forward on their track to keep the local government fund in some form of tact that
Did
they
they
hope
say anything
to
about the
do.
vote on June 3rd, that they figured they'll up the sales tax? Was that mentioned at all, or?
Revenue enhancement.
Oh, yeah, that's a word. But, did they mention that at that meeting?
Yeah, I
That's
think
what I
that
heard, there was like
I
a
think
vote on
that
June
those
3rd.
of us who were there wasn't a date given, but I think those of us who were there were asked. They talked about an increase in the recorder's fees, which are normally general fund monies for the counties, but there is a proposal to increase the recorder fees to pay for the trust. There's a trust fund that they use for the housing trust fund, and they were generally asked if we had our choice, which would we rather not have? They don't ask questions that are give you much option. So
But what they're talking about with that trust fund, to increase the recorder's fees?
Yes.
The increase would go back to the state, and they
yes.
want to put it into housing.
Yes,
Mhm.
that's what and so then, if we first were not necessarily in favor of the state receiving that money, because it's usually a local general fund, and they said, well, which would you rather have then? You want the local government fund to stay the way it is? And so they want the money. So, you know,
It's all about the money.
well, the bottom line is the money, and I give State Rep, Senator Ron Amstutz a little bit of credit. He passed this out, and it's a newsletter from him, and he says, here's the story on Ohio's budget situation. I just like to read 2 sentences. The first one is a quote, "Don't cut spending on the critical, fill in the blank program. Raise taxes if necessary instead." Then the second quote is, "Do not cut spending anywhere you have to, but forget about raising taxes." So you know the dilemma that they find themselves in, and but unfortunately their dilemma becomes ours too, because we are their partners in the delivery of service at the local level. So that's the end of my report. Thank you.
It becomes our burden.
Well, so say it a
New
little bit
business?
louder, and it's absolutely
than-
true.
Oh, sorry.
No, we're still talking.
Are you done, Betty?
I am now. Thank you.
Okay.
Other than what's noted, the Medal of Honor ceremony will take place tomorrow at 10 a.m. on the grounds of Lorain County Courthouse. And also there will be a ceremony held on the Charles Berry Basque Bridge at 10 a.m. to honor Charles Berry himself. Board correspondence?
I move the reading be waived.
Second.
Discussion? Ms. Blair?
Aye.
Mr. Moore?
Aye.
Ms. Vacy?
Aye.
Public comment?
Poor Shirley's been standing there for so long.
Is there anybody left?
Unfortunately, I am. Shirley R. Johnson from Oberlin. I'd like to make some comments about the airport discussion. I did formulate some questions and comments at the time it was going on, but I got lost in everything that developed. I'm sorry Elizabeth Rummix isn't here because she knows more about that because she attends their meeting. But I do want to, as a public citizen and citizen of the area and so forth and so on, I do want to make a few comments. I appreciated the comments that Commissioner Blair made regarding her personal history and the general history of the airport and the various decisions that have been made at various times about it and her continuing concerns. I also appreciated Mr. Ennis's attempt to define and clarify the problem that you were supposed to be discussing. I also did hear many interesting and convincing sounding and not so convincing comments by both the commissioners in the airport about what was going on or what they were proposing. I don't see how you can make a decision on whatever you are deciding to decide on. I repeat that. I don't know how you can make a decision on whatever you are deciding to decide on, which was not clear during that discussion, without lots of written and explanatory information that you all have, and the same information, and have it available to the public. And since you did also discuss alternatives, it would be nice if some of the alternatives were on there too. And it would be nice to have that to review ahead of time. Further, I did hear comments about the importance of money-making and having tax revenue from whatever goes on at the airport, but I did not hear any concerns expressed about the interests of the general public and of the area and whatever changes might come about as a result of whatever you decide to do. Thank you.
Thanks, Shirley.
Thank you. Okay, is there anyone else? Okay. Thank you.
Now we
Move into
have a
executive
couple
session.
executive session items. Are we going to reconvene then at a time?
Yes.
Would we like to
Poor
establish
Ken's-
a time?
Poor Ken's been waiting just to talk about a contract.
Well,
Well, you guys want to go to lunch and come back afterwards? Ken's buying.
What country?
I thought we were reviewing something. That's why Ken's been hanging around. Oh, what?
no.
Why are you just hanging around just for fun?
No, you were going to look at it.
Weren't you waiting for us?
Yes.
Oh, you were
Yes,
just...
item number 16.
Yeah.
Item number 16. The
Number
Olmsted
12 is
Falls.
on hold. Well, next week, number 16 is supposed
Oh,
to
so
be
you were
talked
hanging,
about
you're just
after.
hanging out in the garage? I thought you were waiting for us on something. You are, aren't you?
16 is on
Yes,
hold.
item number 16.
Okay,
It's
okay.
on hold, and you were going to look at,
No, ma'am, the very last decision was to wait until next week.
Yeah, it's on hold.
It was put on hold, so Joe
Oh, was
can
it?
look at the
Oh, okay.
contract.
Okay.
It was held till next week, or did I?
That's what I thought too.
Well, I've got hold, it doesn't say for when, and
Yeah,
I
so
thought
that
that that
is-
was one of the items that
It was on
you,
hold until he looked at the contract.
during the break, I think you were going to
And
talk
then I
about.
heard some discussion that it wasn't right to put him on the spot like that, so we were
Yeah,
wait a week.
right. Yeah. Oh, I thought you were, that's what, sorry, Ken. I guess you wanted to watch us work anyway,
He's
right?
coming, oh, look, now he's coming back. Gosh.
Well, we're already past hour and a half. This ain't gonna show up on TV anyway, so.
Well, just to explain my attendance,
So you'll get the full benefit.
I did enjoy the meeting.
Okay.
Though I have some
Pain,
additional
huh?
information I
Okay.
wanted to hand to Jim and, before lunch, take about 30 seconds and just show him where we're at this point. But no, I stuck around. I just
Okay.
wanted to see
Sorry.
Good government action.
how good government in action
Oh,
works.
wow. You can tell.
That's
when guys-
putting words in your mouth.
You can tell when a couple people are running, aren't they?
Madam Chair, I move that we go into a
Oh.
You running for the citizens again?
executive session for the purposes outlined, and that we reconvene at 2 o'clock if the auditor is available to discuss the,
I didn't think
Thursday's
we're,
at a meeting at 2 o'clock.
No.
No, we,
no, I don't,
my priorities are straight.
no, I don't think we're gonna
Everything
discuss
is
anything.
here.
I thought we said,
Wait
yeah, we
till the
decided to
June
do that
16th.
on June 6th, 17th with the auditor. I thought
I'm
we,
sorry.
yeah, we decided that.
Okay, then we're just going to do executive
That's
session,
it.
period.
Right.
Jerry had a couple issues and Howard.
Well, yeah, I'm new here. I've been here so long, I don't even,
Just follow our lead. We'll
wait,
figure it out.
oh, I'm not following you anyplace. I'm just checking what my name is, though, so I know who I
Can I have
am.
a second?
Second.
Blair?
Aye.
Mr. Moore?
Aye.
Miss Vacy?
Aye.